What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Footballrs. My name's Tony, and you can follow me down below at LINEMAN Football. Today's video is going to be the full review on the Nike Alpha Menace Varsity 3 football cleats. Now, guys, before we kick off this video, don't forget, go ahead, subscribe as we're leading up to the season. We're putting out 3 product reviews every single week, so you're going to want to see all those to make sure you're getting the best possible gear this year. Okay, so for this video, this is one of the rare times where I have multiple renditions of the same cleat over the years. So here I have the Nike Alpha Menace Varsity 3 cleats right here. I have the 2s and I have the 1s. These are not obviously a stock color. These are ones I painted myself for a video years ago. But I think it is good to show these because they kind of blended a little bit of these to make these cleats. Okay, so the first category we are going to be looking at is the fit and size of these cleats. Now in Nike cleats, I normally wear a 12.5. I tried out a 12 in these and they are much more narrow. You can see it just doesn't belly out. If you are a 12.5 normally like me and you have really wide feet, I would recommend maybe going a half size up to a 13. But if you have pretty narrow feet, these, or just normal feet, these do fit true to size. Now, as far as getting them on and off, it's super simple. It's just some standard lacing on the top. Nothing really special going on there. As far as the fit goes on here, they kind of fit like a standard, cheaper football cleat. The one thing that they did add is these plates on the side, which is just one way that these laces kind of pull down and tuck in your foot on the sides to make it a little bit tighter. They do have a bunch of foam backing on the inside. However, I do know from these that they do hold up okay over time. It's been worn down definitely a little on here. It feels like it's the exact same material and stuff that they used in the past, so it will hold up decent, but it will definitely lose a little bit of its cushiness over time. Another nice thing to mention with these cleats is on all of them, they do have what they call a 3/4 midsole. You can see it a little bit on here. You can see it on this one here, and my other ones have as well. I don't really think it does anything. Like you feel that this is foam here, but like that foam isn't on the inside of the cleat, so I don't really know what it accomplishes. I just don't think you should get fooled into thinking these have like a lunar lawn midsole, because you know other cleats have a legit lunar lawn midsole and are very comfortable because of it, but these aren't those. Another weird thing that they did as far as fit goes is going to be, you can see that these just have a standard lacing system that just goes directly into the upper material. Now this one had the same thing, except the material conformed to your foot a little bit better, so they didn't need to do anything different. However, on the original Alphas, they actually had the laces connect with flywire running down through the side of the cleat, making a really good snug fit. So I don't understand why they would go backwards to a style like this, but not incorporate some of the things that made this actually a really good cleat. Okay, now the next thing we're going to talk about on these is the breathability of the cleat. And there really isn't any breathability for a couple of reasons. Number one is going to be, there's obviously no vent ports, anything like that on here. Also, this is just not really a breathable material on the outside. I found my feet getting very hot in these cleats while I was testing them. So like how other cleats would really open up this tongue to be all mesh, they kept that liner going all the way up here. So that detracts from the breathability as well. If you're going for these for breathability, probably the wrong cleat. Okay, next thing we want to look at is traction plate on these and how well they grip into the ground. Now, I don't know why they did this. They took a huge step back. Here's the 3, here's the 2, and here's the 1, right? I'm not sure why that they got rid of this sick traction plate here and went back to this older style here. I just don't fully get why they took a step back. This traction plate on here, as we've talked about in the past, is fantastic. Like the amount of grip you have with it, the thick triangle studs, like you can just do so much with this traction plate. It's incredibly springy. It's just so nice. So I'm not sure why they got rid of this traction plate to go back to this older style on here. Now the older style is okay, but there's just definitely better things out there nowadays. One of the issues I have with it is the circle studs. They just don't grip in the ground fantastic. So that would be one of the areas where I'd like to see them make changes in the future, is go back to a little bit better of a traction plate. Now, will this do the job? Yes, you're just gonna not get the like crazy grip and like bear down or whatever that you would from some of the other traction plates out there right now. Okay, next we're going to look at is going to be protection on these cleats. So as it is, the same material, it's not going to be as thick as other materials out there, but there's definitely thinner stuff. So like an all-purpose cleat is, it kind of sits somewhere in the middle. But if someone steps, directly on top of you here, you are 100% going to feel that. All right, last thing we're going to talk about is the style on these cleats, and they don't really give you a lot to work with here. So they're kind of plain, they're kind of boring. They kind of don't have a lot going on with them. I think these kind of patches on the side look a little bit weird, and I think like that's the only reason they put them, was like to add color in some way. Because if not, like you can only get these cleats in 4 colors. So you can get them in all white and all black, a white with a little accent of red, and a white with an accent of blue. So not a ton of colorways to pick from. So they are a little bit weird in that way, that they kind of just didn't do a little bit more to make them stand out. As far as some of the style aspects on here, I think they are a little bit weird. I'm not a big fan of the Nike logos, how they don't line up in the back. I think that's a little bit strange to me. I'm a little bit confused why this Nike logo looks almost like a bolt. I know it's supposed to go with the Alpha line, because the Alpha line has kind of that like bolty type shape. Speaking of Nike logos, there's just this little one right here. Like, why is it here? It's just kind of weird. The traction plate, super boring. So there's just not a lot going on with these in the way that some models in the past have had. Okay, so I didn't talk a lot of really good things about this cleat, and this is gonna be why. So these ones, I don't remember what they retailed for, but they obviously retailed for something back in the day. These ones right now, if you want to go pick them up, these are going to run you $100, but these ones are only 75. So I think Nike kind of took away some of the things to try and get these down to a mid-tier level cleat, where they're going to be a little bit more all-purpose, a little less specialized, and that way it's a little easier for entry-level people to get into football. These are going to fit that, where if you are just getting into football and you want to get a pair of cleats and you don't want to spend like 120, 150 bucks, these are actually going to be a good cleat. I think that's why they did it. I think they took away the traction plate because they couldn't get the price down with this beefier traction plate. I think they just made a couple changes to kind of go back a little bit and reposition where they see themselves in the future with this Alpha line being a little bit more accessible to everyone. So guys, I've pretty much touched on the positions with this as well, but in case you were curious, I think you could really wear these at any position as long as you're not specializing in something. So if you're getting to higher levels of football, I think there's better options out there for linebacker. I think there's better options for skill positions, and I definitely think there's better options out there for linemen. But if you're looking for a more reasonably priced cleat with no crazy technologies, you just want some simple colorways, these would actually be a really good pickup for you. There you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on the Nike Alpha Menace Varsity 3 football cleats. If you did like today's video, drop a like down below, comment if you have any questions. I'll check you next time.